Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel, and welcome to an impromptu live stream, I would like to say. I decided to do this wee daily news update with all things LFC, and I'll be joined by some very, very special guests. So, from right to left, we have a debutante on with us. It is Dan from the Mighty Reds TV, and honestly,
hi,
if it's not just me, if it's not just me, I think he sounds like Neil Buchanan from Art Attack.
Yeah, I'll give it all the viewers a little chance. If I cover my face and say, "Hello, welcome to this week's Art Attack," you can hear my voice. let us know. Let us know in the comments. Do I sound like Neil Buchanan? I don't know. I've never had it. Only Doug's ever said it. But yeah, if it is, it is. Cool. I'm happy with that.
You are very, very welcome. You are very welcome.
Happy to be here, mate.
It's great to have you. It is great to have you. We've also been joined by, well, I will say two regulars on my channel. We have Mr. Connor from the Cop Council. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm doing very well, thank you, mate. Regular, really, these days? It's no, but seriously, absolute pleasure coming on as always. And yeah, just Art Attack, what a throwback that is. You know, childhood, like it was that, SpongeBob and many other things. But yeah, we just love cartoons, to be fair. But yeah, thank you for having me on, mate.
Absolute pleasure. And we have Mr. Jack Mack, LFC. How are you doing, Jack?
Not too bad, mate. Thank you very much for having me on. Lovely to meet Dan and Connor. I was playing a bit of I was playing a bit of COD with Connor before we come on, and we won a game. So, but nice one for having me on, mate. And hopefully everyone at home is keeping safe and well.
Hey, so before we go any further, can I just say, on subject of computer games, how old can you still be to play Fortnite before it's like wrong?
Oh, Fortnite! I stopped playing Fortnite forever. Like, I still play FIFA, mate, but I still really don't.
My excuse is my 4-year-old son loves me to play it, and that's my excuse for being a 39-year-old man who still plays Fortnite.
Yeah, you're never too old to play video games, mate, and obviously you're bonding with your little lad, so it sounds.
That's perfect. That's all I needed to know. Thank you, Jack.
I've never played Fortnite, so I would obviously not know about it.
There's a new game on the PS or something, and she's obsessed. The robot game. It's like, can we play that? I'm like, go ahead then. It distracts you from playing FIFA and raging that. So
I'll just say hello to a few people. Hello, Helen. She was in the chat before. I was basically chatting to her, even Helen waiting on my guess, and said nothing new there. Shane O'Donnell, good evening. Seamus Moore, good evening. Alan Holloway, in evening as well. Helen saying you'll never walk alone. The boy, says Dave. Hello, Dave. Sophie's in, starting without me. How rude. She'll be with us very shortly. Sophie was on a bender. I don't think so. Broke me back. Good evening, Reds. Chris Welsh. I hope you're doing well as well. So, right. So, I think people will have obviously seen this, but it does look like Mr. Wijnaldum is close to the exit. Now, a lot has been said. Oh, actually, let me do that again. A lot has been said about him today. Basically, his agent's coming out and say that he's a free agent in the summer, and apparently Bayern Munich. He's actually offered Wijnaldum to Bayern Munich, but then again, Christian Falk has come out and said that Bayern aren't interested. So, Dan, what do you make of the Wijnaldum situation? Well,
it's been an open secret, hasn't it, that he wasn't going to stay. I think we've known about it for a while. Once it started dragging on, it was pretty obvious that he was going to leave. I fully expect still that he'll go to Barcelona. That's always been on the cards. I think, especially if Ronald Koeman stays, obviously that will probably depend on whether Barcelona win the league or not. But certainly I think if Koeman stays, that's where he'll end up. I personally I've been accused of being a top red, but I like Wijnaldum and I'll be really disappointed to see him go. I mean, as best ability as, of course, as availability, but he's just such a team player, isn't he? I think, anyway. A lot of people say ghost games and that. You know, he can do, but he's also a very big game player. I think he's going to go to Barcelona. I'm going to be really disappointed to see him go, especially on a free transfer. But I suppose with the free transfers, you win some, you lose some, don't you? We've had a few good free transfers, you know, like some Matip, Milner, etc. this one looks like it's going to one that slips through the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor, what's your reaction to the Gini news today, with him looking likely to leave?
Again, I think it's been one of those things that's been pretty obvious and coming for quite some time. Like I think all of us will say, it's the fact that he's been so good under Jurgen Klopp, and since he signed for Liverpool, like I'll say this, every single time we talk about Gini Wijnaldum, when we first signed him, I was not a fan about it at the time, and that's probably me, talking to a couple of Newcastle friends that I have, and they were like, "Oh, thank you for the 25 million. We'll spend that good." That's Newcastle for you. But I'm so glad that I was wrong about a football player. What a just amazing player he's been for Liverpool. Yes, I think we can all agree his head's been somewhere else since probably February. But for me, he's been such a good servant towards his football club. For me, he'll go down as a modern, great for Liverpool. Of course, in certain Champions League games and other bits and bobs. And if he does leave Liverpool, I wish him well. And look, some people say Bayern Munich. I think he'll go into Milan. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think
into Milan. Yeah,
I think there's rumours there that suggest that he's going to go there. I think he'll end up at a top club no matter what. So I think Bayern, Inter, Barca. I just hope whoever has him treats him well as I think Liverpool have over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Gini Wijnaldum, he's been a very, very good signing. Jack, what are your thoughts on this situation with Wijnaldum?
Gutted, mate. As the lads have already mentioned, the writing was on the wall for a very long time, and I think we had it with Emre Can, we've got it with Gini now, but he's never not been unprofessional. He's been fantastic. He got the ball rolling really under Jurgen Klopp, getting that vital goal last game in the season against Newcastle to secure his top 4 qualification and then into the Champions League knockout. The qualifying stages really anyway. But he's been exceptional, mate. And he's a player that doesn't really, he doesn't look good on stats. But when you watch him on telly or in the ground, he's phenomenal. He does a lot of the dirty work. And prior to us not having Fabinho, he was one of those players before Fab come into the midfield that really just bossed the game. He was like Jan Moby. It's the good thing about Gini, when you watch him, he sticks out his arse, and it's so difficult for people to actually get the ball. He's a typical Dutch midfielder that is an absolute nightmare to try and get the ball off. But going forward, he's got that ability we've seen in Holland for the national side. I just wish he got a bit more goals. I wish he added that to his game, mate. But yeah, it'll be a sorely missed. And he's never injured, is he, lads? He's always on the team sheet. So that's so important. And considering the midfield and defensive crisis in which we've had this season, I think we've got to look at a player to come in or replace him with Curtis Jones, just someone that you can never replace him, like Dirk Kuyt, those players that are always on the team and never injured.
Yeah, well, Seamus Moore's actually asked a very good question. Dan, what do you make of this? Curtis Jones, a ready-made replacement?
Not too sure about that. I mean, it's been a bit of a breakthrough season, hasn't it, for Curtis Jones? I don't know how many games he's played, but he's played a hell of a lot more than he had done previously, hasn't he? Obviously, that's been a lot due to injuries. But I'm just reading the chats there. I am a top edge today, Dave. You're putting me off now. But no, I like Curtis Jones. It has been a big season for him. Hopefully now, next season, we can see him make that next step and start getting more assists, more goals, being a bit more prominence in the final third. But in terms of appearances and that, it's been a big season for him. Whether he'd be the Wijnaldum replacements, I think that's what FSG would certainly like, wouldn't he? I think most of his fans would like us to dip into the transfer markets. But I'm sure John Henry would be sitting there now saying, he's a perfect replacement. Curtis Jones, an academy player on lower wages. But I'm sure not many of the fans would be happy with that idea.
Yeah, Dave with the gags. Interesting.
There we go, Dave.
I think that's a shake of the head. Christopher says, I knew Wijnaldum was leaving months ago. Yeah, it's just ever since. Oh, and speaking of which, we have another guest with us.
Hello.
Hello, Sophie. How are you?
Hey.
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me on, honey.
Oh,
Hello.
absolute pleasure. We were just talking about Gini Wijnaldum, and I just saw your comment. I adore Gini,
I
so
love Gini.
yeah, you'll be gutted at this news.
Do you know what? I'm not, because I knew it was coming. Like, I was listening to the podcast driving home, like on the way home, and I was like, one of the lads, I don't know which one of you said it, because I was literally just listening to it, saying that like it was the worst kept secret type thing. Like, we all knew about it. Like, we all knew it was going to happen. We all knew this day would come, especially the longer these contract negotiations went on, the more likely it was that Gini was going to leave. But I love him.
Yeah.
I just adore him. Like, he's the all-rounder. Like, he gives everything constantly. He loves the club. He loves the fans. And what am I going to sing when I go out clubbing now and the do-do-do song comes on? Like,
yeah. Yeah, he's been so consistent this season. And I think Jack mentioned it earlier. He's never injured. He is very, very rarely injured. And I think the term robot comes to mind, Connor, because that guy is just not injured at all.
See, what, Dutch Terminator? I think we can call him that.
Yeah, that's...
if we want to call him it. No, look, I think apart from him, Bobby Firmino and Andy Robbo, it's been them three that's been, there all season, and that just shows how bad Liverpool's been with injuries this season, but also shows, how you can rely on those three to be not injured. And look, we're gonna if when people are talking about Curtis Jones, I think next year will be the step up for Curtis Jones, and he's probably going to be the third or fourth choice centre mid now. And yeah, look, I think all of us are going to say we need to dip in the market, and then it's the thing. Then when who do we go for? That's the next question. Who does Jurgen like? Who doesn't he like? And that'll be the thing. FSG will probably want us to spend like 5 million on someone from Brighton. So but
yeah. Yves Bissouma is the name being mentioned. I'll be honest. I've seen a few Brighton games this season, and whenever I've seen Bissouma play, he usually gives a 7 or 8, an 8 out of 10. So I think he'd be a good signing if we do get Bissouma. Jack, what's your thinking on this?
It's going to be interesting. I think I was speaking to Dave last night, and everyone, we need goals from midfield, especially next season. Well, if we're looking to not bring in a number 9, I think we all need to bring in a number 9 goal scorer. But it's not as easy as finding one for quite cheap. But yeah, goals from midfield. But it's what I identified. Do we go with? Is Naby going to be getting game time? Is he going to be staying fit? Is Ox going to be getting a bit more game time next season? Both of them, I've got big question marks over them in terms of they're never fully fit. And as you mentioned, Curtis, it's a big ask to really fill the boots of Gini Wijnaldum, because Gini's a Dutch international. He's got bags of games underneath his belt. But yeah, it's going to be so many question marks, especially dipping into the transfer market. We need to reinforce midfield and the attack. I wish you had the answers, mate, and I think Jürgen will have them, and Michael Edwards on that laptop with all the names. So it'd be interesting to see. It'd be a name that we haven't looked at, like it always is with Edwards and Klopp. It's a player that us fans don't really identify, and we assume is a great name, but it'd be someone like them.
Yeah, Seamus Moore says we need more creativity in midfield. I 100% agree. Who's that behind the stat? I love that name. What are your thoughts on Houssem? Oh gosh sake, Ozan of Lyon, or Florian Neuhaus of Gladbach to replace Gini. God, that Gini is leaving as he is really injured. Dan, Houssem Aouar. What do you think about that one?
I'll hold my hands up. I don't watch a lot of non-Premier League football, so I couldn't really give you much opinion on either of them. I'll be honest with you, but I've heard good things, especially about Aouar. Is it? He was linked heavily, wasn't he, with Arsenal last season? All the Arsenal fans on football Twitter, as it's called, were all raving about him. But other than that, I genuinely don't know. You're probably best off passing it to one of the rest of the panel.
You're going to say last one, weren't you?
Sophie, have you seen Hossam Aouar at all?
Yeah, from what I've seen out of the two of them, because you were talking about Basuma before, and I don't want him.
Don't want Basuma?
I don't want him, because when you look at him, he's not a goal scoring. He likes long shots, but when he takes a long shot, he fucking hoofs them. He's got one goal.
Oh, God.
And he fouls everyone. He's always giving away fouls. And I think when you've got a player like Thiago, who we know likes to give away fouls, do I really want another centre mid who does the same thing? No. I want someone who replaces Gini really well. From what I've seen of Aouar and Neuhaus, I don't mind either or of them. Both of them are very high scoring, very creative forward attacking midfielders. And I imagine their link up with our midfield as it is now in our front three, from four really, would be really ideal. I think they'd be like a perfect fit, because then we'd have a fine balance of a defensive holding midfielder in Thiago, who's really quick on the ball, fluid football, quick passing, really good reading of the game, great crossing skills. Fabinho, who can sit back and defend like no man's business and own the midfield. And then I think if we had Aouar or Neuhaus, either or of them, I really wouldn't mind. I think Neuhaus, however you say his name, would be the better option for longevity than Aouar, because I think Aouar's like a household name right now, and he'll be snapped up more than Neuhaus, because Neuhaus is kind of like a no one. He came from a no-mark team in the German league and is now doing really well.
Yeah.
So I go for him.
Absolutely, and Klopp knows the Bundesliga. Jack, Neuhaus or God, I honestly can't say. I can't even say that name.
Yeah. Justin is dyslexic to pronounce those names. Good luck at that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
To Paul as well from Udinese. I've seen his name linked, but you never know. You just go on Twitter and you're being linked to everyone and a nan really. But yeah, everyone's been raving about him on, so as the lads mentions, and so he's mentioned. I'm not going to sit here and watch every French League on game, but yeah, he's a big profile sign, and both of them. I think it's going to be interesting if we go towards that style of player, or as the panel's already said tonight, and everyone on social media, and when I've been speaking to my dad as well, we just need that goals in midfield. So when that really drags the defence out, I think if you look at Liverpool's three this season over the last 3 years, it's solely been those three, and obviously Jota's added to that goal tally, mate. But yeah, anyone, as long as they're scoring goals, staying fit and pushing the Reds on forward, mate, I'll be happy.
Yeah, Seamus Moore is saying Neuhaus looks a decent player. 1892 Reds podcast is saying Gravenberch. Is that the guy at Ajax?
Yeah, is he 19 from Ajax?
Yeah, he's the up and coming player at Ajax, I think.
See, that's my issue at the minute. Is I know Liverpool as a tendency, as a rule of thumb, we tend to buy young players and make them stars. But I think with us losing significantly prominent senior players, we need to be replacing them with established players. That's like losing, touch wood, Virgil van Dijk and sticking with the centre backs we've got now. You'd want to replace a strong player with an equally strong player. And for me, as much as I love these young players and turning them into absolute superstars, do we really want a baby team? Like I say it on ours on Youngster Cobb all the time, do we want a baby team? Do we want a team that's just they're new to the game? Or do we want somebody who's got a little bit of oomph about them who knows what they're doing?
Dave's like a comedy genius, isn't he?
Oh, he's hilarious.
His gags are very funny, although the interesting one is bad as well. We have a Manchester United fan in here. Reese R, I hope you're doing well, my friend. The smartest option, God help me here, being nice, is Florian Neuhaus. He watches the Bundesliga, so I think that's why. Let me just see. We can all agree Jurgen Klopp will keep Holby City actor Naby Keita. Oh, jeez. Don't say that to Connor. Connor's a big fan of Keita.
Oh.
Lads,
Oh, no. No.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm interested. Can we just sidetrack just for 5 minutes? Why?
Why not?
What? Give me 5 reasons why he's a good player based on his performance at Liverpool. Not what he was doing in the Bundesliga.
Can I have 24 hours to prepare? because this season I can't.
As a player, you could tell me 5 viable reasons why he's a decent player.
Good box to box when in a game of running form. Can score goals. End of last season, end of 18-19. Practically, that's all I can give at the minute. That's 2. Oh wait, why am I on trial by here? Like this feels like I'm on trial. I am literally on trial.
Naby Keita is a good, like, you're defending him, and I just don't see what there's to defend anymore.
Yeah, but
I'll be honest, right? I do actually think he's a good player, but the issue is he's never fit. That's the end of it, isn't it?
That's the problem.
You can't plan around the player who's never going to play.
The problem is with Naby is he gets into a run of games and he's good. You saw quite clearly what happened with Real Madrid. You know, when he's not in a run of game forms and he's just shoved in the deep end, he's not good. And you know that's the thing of it. Naby needs like 4 or 5 games on the bounce to produce his best, and that's the thing as well. It's like with Liverpool and like the whole Wijnaldum situation as well, and we need someone that can be like, you know, a Virgil van Dijk. I think, you know, one of you have mentioned before, you know, someone that can just, you know, come in straight away and boss the midfield. That's what we need next year.
It'll be interesting if Klopp, like, I think Klopp secretly rates him. He sees a lot more of him, and obviously buying it and Barca prior to him do it all after his signature. If Jurgen's saying this publicly just to try and get a bit more money for him, possibly, and just say, right, we're going to have to get rid of him. And I agree with Sophie and what everyone's has to say, but we went round the route of getting Thiago. And that was we broke the FSG model, kind of. FSG were probably Jurgen and Edwards twisted. Well, we're right there, Doug. Twisting the arm of Jurgen of FSG, really, to try and just sign him because he breaks the mold. Because FSG, they love buying young and producing, and Jurgen to making them world class and putting them in this squad. But we need a ready, established name, whether we go out big and spend. FSG have got a lot of question marks, all the owners have after now, but you really need to go down that route. Doug, where have you gone, lad?
It's mine now. It's the same.
She's got the control of the power. Go ahead, Soph.
I don't know. Like, my thing with Naby is I really rated Naby when we signed him, and I defended him literally until this season. Like, and now I'm at the point where we were talking about Gini and saying how, you know, availability is the best ability. If that's a quote that we use to describe why Gini's good, why aren't we applying the same rule to Naby? And that's what gets me. If you're already easy to say that Ox is always injured and Shaq is always injured and Matip's always injured, and that's why they need replacing, why are people still so hell-bent on defending Naby Keita? Like, no one's disputing that he's a phenomenal footballer. Like, we all saw what he was like, you know, in the German league. We all saw what he was like when he first came to us. But it's just very unfortunate that he's suffered significantly with injuries. And I said it on our channel, and me and Wahomie got into like a massive 10-minute argument about it. But for me, I just think he's so injury prone. Where do you draw the line? Like, I
think though with that, yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that. But the thing is, with Liverpool, especially this season, how many players can you afford to let go? That's the thing. It's over time. Yes, Naby will be sold, and it will probably be not this summer, it'll probably be next summer if it continues the way it's going. But it's the same with Ox as well. You know, there's rumours of him going to Borussia Dortmund, and you know, you've got this player linked to be leaving, this player again leaving. It's not like Liverpool can go and spend 200 million on revamping their midfield. We're not Manchester City or Chelsea in that sense.
No. Without a shadow of a doubt, we're not, and that's not what Liverpool's about, and that's not the way we do our business in the transfer market. But you're saying that we won't go out and buy big, because that's not what we do, and I agree with that. But then to turn around and say, well, Naby, we'll keep Naby because how many people can you afford to lose? Well, to buy these other players, we need to lose that dead weight, and unfortunately, Naby falls in that category of dead weight. We paid. Am I like, come on? We spent so much money doing the opposite now this time, lads. Jesus Christ! and he's not met the standards, and unfortunately that happens sometimes. But I just don't think he's cut out for the Premier League. I think his body isn't ready for it. I don't think he's ready for the physicality of the league, and it's showing in his fitness levels. He's just not got that strength to him, which is a lot of players don't. But we're never going to recoup that 60-odd million that we got on Naby. We'd be lucky to get 30 at this point. And at some point, you've got to call a spade, get rid of the deadwood. And as much as we love Naby, like I do love him as a player, I'm just done defending him. I think you kind of need to cut your losses here, recoup any money you can, and put that towards a player who is going to be versatile, who's going to be agile, and even more importantly, is going to be fit. Like, we've seen the importance of having players fit for availability this season. If we'd had our fit players available, we'd have been fine. But the minute we've been left with a weakened squad because of injury, the only people we've had to rely on are the injury-prone players. And look where that's got us.
What would you say about Ox, everyone? I'm interested. Would you get rid of him as well?
Same.
Yeah, same.
I love Ox.
I love Ox, but unfortunately injuries have just hampered him. It's the same with Matip. We have to decide in the summer to get rid of these injury-prone players, and I think a decision will definitely be made on Ox. I think Matip will be going, and to be honest, I can see Keita staying, but I think it's last chance saloon if Keita stays. In all honesty, so
the way I see it, Doug, is on paper we've got a pretty good squad of 25 players. Unfortunately, there's 5 or 6 of them are totally a write-off. Matip, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shaqiri. So you're already down to 19 players, 20 players.
Yeah.
They're never there when we need them. That's the problem. So as the gang have said, we need to start cutting our losses with them a bit early and getting people who are a bit more durable.
Who's that behind the stat? Said Naby Keita is like Everton in Europe. In 1 week and out 10 years. So much potential, but he can't stay fit.
I approve that comment.
I like that.
If only Man United fans had the same views Sophie has on the Liverpool players, we need that for Martial, etc. Says Reese. Very, very interesting. So obviously Davis said into Milan for Wijnaldum. Where do we think Wijnaldum's going to go? Do we think it's going to be Barcelona, or do you think it'll be somewhere else?
Yeah, I think I said earlier that he's been linked with Barca from the start. I think definitely if Koeman stays, that's where he's going to end up for me.
Jack?
Yeah, I reckon Barca's missus wants some sunshine after being stuck in Liverpool for a couple of years. So if it's Baird has his way, then she'll be going to they'll be going to. It's a lovely city, Barcelona anyway. But yeah, I think he will go there. Him and De Jong, obviously playing the national team, both of them anyway. So makes sense really, and obviously having a Dutch manager. If he stays there, if they win the league, but yeah, Barca.
Yeah.
Barca in general, sorry, have just got such a history, haven't they, with the Dutch players, haven't they? So it's they're synonymous with it.
See, I was very much, when this became apparent that Gini was going, I was very much under the impression that he wouldn't go Barca in the end, and he'd end up surprising us all and going back to the Dutch league. That's genuinely what I thought he might do, because he is getting towards the end now. He's what, 28, 29?
Yeah, 29. Yeah.
He is getting towards the older age. I say old like it's about 30 old. It's really not. It's I always thought he'd go back to the Dutch league personally, and I still kind of hold out hope that he will. I think he'd do very, very well over there for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he's going to go for money, he's going to go to Barcelona or Bayern, if Bayern are interested. If he wants to just see his career out on a good salary, he'll go back to the Dutch league. That's what I think. Yeah, and he misses home. Like Gini's openly said, hasn't he, that he misses being at home. He misses his family and his friends around. Oh, there you go. Someone else has said it.
Yeah, indeed. Connor, do you think he'll go to Barcelona?
No, I said he was going to go into Milan. And I think he's.
Oh yeah, you said under Milan as well. Yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, carry on.
No, go on.
No, I think we're all gutted about Gini. I know Ricky Wade is not from 1892 Reds podcast, but I think he's been a cracking signing. I think he's been a fantastic signing, a great servant to to Liverpool, and he will be definitely missed. Yes, I will get the Salah rumour up very shortly, because honestly, that is one of the worst transfer summer signings, summer transfer rumours. Anyway, now this is going around now. Kabak injured, and will the club exercise the option to buy on him? Now, there was something going around today saying apparently, let me just see that. Update on Ozan Kabak. So this is from at LFC Approved, and now this is quite reliable account for me. He's been playing with an injury for some time. Only real break to look into it was this week. Club are concerned, but suggestions are it's not serious, and he may be able to continue the season, keeping tabs on him. And Klopp actually said that there are a few bumps and bruises in the squad ahead of tomorrow's game against Southampton. So I'll come to Jack first. What do you make of this Kabak news? It's a bit worrying, isn't it?
Whenever we've moved into this new complex, mate, it's got some hoodoo over it, or it's cursed. This new KB Academy thing. I know all the kids have been there for years, mate, but we should never have moved this first team in there because it just went to pot. It'd be interesting, yes, if we do exercise that deal, mate, and obviously him, I think Schalke will look to get a lot of money. Obviously, they're getting relegated to the Bundesliga too, so... But, we don't know. This could be a lot more worse than an injury that we've led on to know. But yet again, we are cursed, mate. I don't want another centre. We've just been speaking for the last half an hour anyway, talking about injured players. And if he's injured, just go out and buy another centre back. But yeah, of course, mate, because he played phenomenal since he's come in. There's a lot of expectations coming into Liverpool Football Club, but him coming in from the Bundesliga, 20 odd years old, and he's looked very reassured alongside Phillips at the back, and he's really been a godsend considering the centre backs we've had.
Luke Burns has just said, Jack, get your boots, play centre back.
Unless I'm like Beressi, mate. Doug's more of a centre back. I know Beressi was a little midget playing centre back. So, but yeah, I'd need Virgil van Dijk. I'd offer a bit more pace at the back, but I'd be crap in the air. Maybe we'd be conceding left, right, and centre more.
Are you saying I should be a centre back? Because I used to be a goalkeeper. So that
you're like 6'5", mate. You just head everything away, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, headed everything away. I mean, Luke Burns has just summed it up, Dan. More centre back partnerships than teams. That's how bad we've had this season.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Jack was saying there since they've moved to the training ground. Well, I actually live in Kirby where the training ground is, and I can tell you that it's synonymous, Kirby, with ancient witchcraft. That's
that just explains it.
It's the truth, honestly.
I think we need to send a priest over there, mate, and just...
freaking hell, we just get a grey.
So whether that's got anything to do with it, I don't know. One thing I would say, though, and I always say this to my girlfriend, because I wasn't from Kirby, I only moved up here, and it's so windy, it's unbelievable. I live within like about half a mile of the training ground, and you wouldn't believe the wind. And I dread to think what training's like, but since they've moved, it's all gone to pot, and that's what I'm putting it down to. The wind in Kirby, it's unbelievable. But in terms of
no wonder Ginny's off. He's probably flying all over that.
Yeah. But in terms of like whether we'll buy him, what does everyone think? Does everyone think we'll make that deal pay him out?
I'd like to buy him.
Yeah, I'd like to get him as well. I think he's been solid since he's came in. I think he's only had one bad game, and that was Leicester.
I think he's been okay, but I think for the money, I think for the money involved, I think they've talked about 18 million, haven't they? Which is not a lot really for a 20-year-old. He's probably, they're probably looking at his ceiling. Can he develop? Would he develop playing with better players? And 18 million's not much. They're going to get at least that money back, aren't they, in a few years' time if they decided to sell him. So, but on that basis, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, really.
Well,
Yeah, definitely. Reese R, I am not going to read your comment out because it says Phil Jones. You can keep Phil Jones. He is nowhere near coming to Liverpool. He can go back to Blackburn for all I care. He is awful. God awful. Jack, do you think we'll sign Kabak?
Hope we do, mate. As the panel's already said, yeah, offers so much, and he's got a bright future. I know we've just mentioned him being injured, but he's got a lot of time to develop, mate. But imagine him alongside Virgil van Dijk have done. It'd learn so much from him.
Yeah. Connor, do you want to buy Kabak?
100%. I think he's done perfectly well coming into the team. I think the only way Liverpool don't sign him is if we go back in for Collector Car. At Marseille. I think that's the only reason why we would not sign Kabak. But it should just be a done thing. It should just be Konate and Kabak should get announced at the same time and go, look, we've actually got centre-backs for Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
Because it's actually quite nice. But isn't it just ironic now that we got this Kabak, injury news, and also Jurgen said that Nat Phillips was back today. It's like one in, one out. It's constantly centre-backs in Liverpool. And they just don't go well this season. But yeah, for me, Kabak's done a brilliant job since coming in. A 20-year-old player coming in from a team that, is getting relegated in Schalke. And you could quite clearly see he was the best player in that squad. And, he's come into Liverpool and done a fantastic job, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ballum, I did see about Dejan Lovren winning the league. We have to congratulate Mr. Lovren. Ballum's asked a very good question, actually. Do you expect Nat Phillips to leave?
Yeah. Nat Phillips has openly said that he wants regular first team football, and he's not going to get that. As much as I appreciate what he's done for us, and I think he's been the strongest centre back out of the two. I feel like when Virgil comes back, when Gomez comes back, if we finalise this deal with Konate and then we sign Kabak, he hasn't got a pot to piss in, has he? The poor lad hasn't got. He's going to have to scrape tooth and nail for FA Cup appearances. He's not going to get that game time whatsoever. Let's say, for example, we do sell Matip. Let's say we get rid of Matip, and that leaves us with Virgil and Gomez as centre-back. Then we get Konate and we get Kabak on. We sign them in the summer. That leaves us with four really good centre-backs. That allows Konate and Gomez to rotate. It allows Virgil to have a little bit of a break in the easier games. And come on, maybe it's 60 minutes. It gives him a little bit of a break as well, because I don't want to burn him out. I mean, I know he's a god, but, even a god gets hurt, as we've seen this season. And Phillips isn't going to get a look in edgeways, is he, for him, bless him. So I think I don't want him to leave because I really do rate him. But I feel like for his career development, he's only young himself. Like, he's not going to want to stay and be a 5th, 6th choice centre-back, is he?
But what I will say about Phillips, he has been fantastic this season. Whenever he's came in, he hasn't put a foot wrong, and he's probably been. But let me just say this: he's probably been our most consistent centre back this season, and that just says it all as well. But no, it just reminded me of the Take That song Back for Good, Kabak for Good. Sorry.
You actually got a song now. Have you seen a song?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Can't wait to hear that.
It's great. It's absolutely great. Chris Walsh is a big fan of Nat Phillips. He said, I don't want my Nat Phillips to leave. He's my centre-back. No nonsense. But he will leave. Definitely get a good fee for him. And if Matip does leave, then we're going to make a profit on Matip anyway, because he came in free as well. So, that'll be good business as well. I did see a comment from Shane O'Donnell, and I wanted to ask all of you this. What do you think of Liverpool could be playing a back three from next season? Do you like the idea?
No.
I think Jurgen's only tried it once, and that was Stoke away, like 2016. And I don't think Liverpool will ever go back to three at the back in the near future.
No.
You put our 3 centre backs at the back, then you thin out our midfield to have the full backs move up, and no, I don't like it. For me, next season, I want a 4-2-3-1. That's what I want to see. I want a 4-2-3-1 with a pivot. the formation I want to go with. I want to get rid of this 4-3-3 and this fucking high line, because I think that's the root of injuries a lot of the time, because they're going so far pressing and we just haven't got the legs to get back. We are absolutely fucking knackered. I do think 4-2-3-1 for me. I don't know.
Funnily enough, the 1892 Reds podcast, I think that's Ricky, is saying yes, Kanati, Gomez and Van Dijk, Trent, Robbo, wing backs. I don't see it somehow. I really don't see it. Resar said, Klopp has done it once in his entire managerial career. I'm all for it, as you'd be turned over. Isn't it? Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice seeing that? Klopp never changed his system. He's sticking with 4-3-3. Trust me. 1892 Reds podcast. Sophie to replace Pep Linders.
Thanks, hon.
Klopp only alternate has been 4-2-3-1. Oh God, Dave! Breaking news: Naby Keita got injured watching this podcast. Oh dear. Balam's made a very good. We will come on to Southampton shortly, because he has asked, would you make any specific changes to Southampton? Would you want to see any players rested with Manchester United away soon? In my honest opinion, I think there's enough time for to play a strong team against Southampton and then go into the United game full strength. I think the fact that they've got 4 games in 7 days is absolutely ridiculous. But it's, their fans have caused this, haven't they? So, would you make any changes, Dan?
No, I think let's just go strong now for the last 5 games. Let's roll the dice and see what happens. Champions League looking a bit out of the question, isn't it? But I think if we did win the last 5, looking at Chelsea's fixtures, we would have a chance. But our most consecutive wins this season has been 3 wins on the run in the league. So for us to win the last 5, I think it's a bit unreasonable to expect it at this stage. But if we did, as I say, with Chelsea's running, we'll have a chance. So I think let's just go strong. Let's roll the dice and see what happens. You know what I mean? I don't expect to see any real massive changes. I certainly don't expect, to see to Tsimikas or anyone like that coming in. It'll just be the usual guard now for the last 5 games.
Yeah,
we haven't got the squad depth to change it up.
No, we don't.
We had this conversation recently as well, and we just thought, we were talking about like a rotation, and I was like, well, what rotation have we got? What have we got? When you look at our bench with the way it is now, who have we got who can come in and make an impact that you trust? We are scraping for points. It's still not mathematically impossible for us to get Champions League. It's very difficult and it's highly improbable. It's not impossible. And until it's mathematically impossible, you need to go all guns blazing. You need to fight for it. But what have we got off the bench that you trust? You're going to put Naby on, starting Naby? Sorry, Connor. You're going to start Ox? No. You're going to start Shaqiri?
Yeah. You make a very, very good point. There's really no rotation there. And I think it'll be the same team that was actually meant to play Manchester United the weekend. I think we'll see. Well, actually, if Kabak is injured, then it'll probably be Fabinho and Phillips, Robbo, Trent, Gini, Thiago, Milner, Salah, Mane, Firmino. I think because you need that striker to come off the bench, and unfortunately, it looks like Mr. Origi is out of favour now. So. Yeah, I think he's definitely on his way out. Jack, I think we're all in agreement here about the team. No changes.
Yeah, no changes, mate. Panel's already said we just need to win every single game. Whatever happens. I think we just need to focus, shift our attention really now to finishing strong, and then focus on next season and then bringing in players, mate. But as long as no one else gets injured, touch wood, that's the most important thing. When we don't rush players back, that's going to be the big point. We don't rush any of these players back that are on the training pitch at the minute. It's good to see Van Dijk and Gomez, Liverpool, trying to liven the mood up, putting social media clips up. It's good to see. I think we all put our smile on our face seeing Virgil and Joey back on the pitch, but I just need to. I can't see it. Honestly, is it Leicester just need one more point now to qualify? Is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think if they beat Newcastle tonight, that's it.
Yeah, so I can't see it happening, mate. But yeah, I just wish we just started to win football games, mate, and we've got to build the momentum. I think momentum's a big key going into next season, mate.
I think that's the comment of the night so far. Get the season over with and reset. Yeah, remember the scene in Men in Black where they've got the pen and it's like, I'm just going to press this, put your glasses on, and then it'll be reset. It'll be reset. Chris Welsh, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you are well, and we'll see you very soon.
See you later.
So let's talk about the most stupidest transfer rumour of the summer so far. I don't know. I think everyone has probably seen it. Christian Falk is saying Mohamed Salah to Chelsea is a target for Thomas Tuchel.
Never gonna happen. Not going to happen. Right, let's just put it like 5 key points why it's never going to happen. 1, he came from Chelsea and they didn't respect him when he was there. 2, he's been racially abused by Chelsea fans throughout his entire career. Why would you want to go to a club who has edited bomber jackets onto your pictures on social media? Now, I'm sorry, as a person, definitely wouldn't want to go to that club. 2, he's got a starting lineup. He's got he's got his feet well under the table at Liverpool. He knows which side it spreads buttered on. We made him, and he's got his golden boot. He's won all his trophies with us. If he goes back to Chelsea, it'll be just another name. And it's like Klopp says with Coutinho: if you stay here, they'll build a statue for you. If you go somewhere else, you'll be forgotten about. You'll be another name on the team sheet, and that's what he'll be if he goes back to Chelsea. But I can never see that happening because let's just look at the Torres. What happened when Torres went to Chelsea? He pushed a 50 million move to Chelsea. It didn't pan out right for him. And now, in his retirement, he sits there and says the worst thing he ever did was move to Chelsea. He wished he'd never left because the grass isn't always greener. And I'd think a player only moves back to the club they came from when they did well there, when they have emotional ties and connections. He has no emotional ties and connections to Chelsea because all they've done is racially abuse that poor man. The Peroni's calling.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye, Dave. Helen said, hell no, we'd rather sell Manny and Firmino. 1890 Reds podcast, just keeping it banter aside. 200 million, they can have him. Yeah. I think we... Connor, thoughts on this and Christian Falk?
Is Christian Falk playing FIFA career mode? Because I'd very much like to find out. He's also linked to other players, Erling Haaland and Romelu Lukaku, with that report, and they are realistic. I feel them two in particular, because look, I think Dortmund has put their price tag on Haaland as £150 million, which for him, I obviously people, they'll say it's worth it, and that most Salah's worth, give us about 300, and then we'll talk. But look, it's the most ridiculous just report I think I've ever seen. Like Sophia said, why would he want to leave Liverpool at the present moment in time? Our number one player. He's loved by every single Liverpool fan. I think all of us will speak to. And for me, there's only one way he'll leave Liverpool, and that is if it's a Juventus or Real Madrid. I think that they're the only clubs that he will leave to. And as Dave says there, Christian can Falk off.
I like that, Dave.
I love
family show, isn't it?
Very good, Dave. Very good.
But it's not going to happen. Don't worry, people. Salah to Chelsea's not happening. Salah for Mbappe's not happening. That's not happening. There's the whole talk as well of Mo getting a contract extension. He said that Liverpool hasn't done anything yet on that terms, but I think it's pretty obvious that Liverpool want to get everyone done to new contracts, and I think, look, he 100% deserves it. Give him wherever he wants, keep him at the club forever, because he's a special talent. And look, Chelsea, they didn't realise it at the time, and they will never realise how special Mohamed Salah is to football itself.
Yeah, and scored a wonder goal against him at Anfield as well. Everyone remembers that one. I think this has to be one of the weirdest transfer rumours of the summer so far, Jack, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just media's like these journos trying to create headlines, creating clicks. Yeah, he must have been so bored, sat in the office writing that article, and just went, "How can we generate more clicks? Just put Salah's name in it because we know how big he is for his nation of Egypt. He got that award last night, and Jürgen spoke yet again. It's driving this narrative between people like to drive this narrative within Sky Sports. You have to watch it for like 2 seconds. Salah doesn't get on with Klopp. Salah doesn't get on with Klopp. No, they both love each other. And Jürgen, from the video, every single week he has to defend out and come out. You get sick and tired of it. But we all love Mo. And I tell you, if it wasn't for Mo this season, we'd be absolutely fooked. So, yeah, just keep hold to the lad. Just give him a new contract. Give him a couple of grand more.
Christian Fucht, I think, is the saying there. We won't dwell on that for sure. But honestly, that when I saw that, I was like, huh? Because you just see these rumors, and it reminds me when Chelsea were linked. There was somebody in the Liverpool squad was actually linked to Chelsea, and I cannot remember who it was. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Remember when we signed Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? He almost went to Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Pete Shepherd, evening. There were several reports this season saying there are some issues between Klopp and Salah. I think that's paper talk.
Nonsense. You just get bored, these journos, mate. It's ridiculous. It makes me laugh. It's crazy.
I just think there's as much truth in that Salah and Klopp arguing story as there is between this ridiculous rumour that Salah and Mane hate each other, and that Mane will purposely refuse to go down because he doesn't want Salah to get a penalty. Like, that is not the team. You watch Inside Anfield, you watch anything with those lads interacting, and there's no negativity. And Klopp is not the type of manager that would put up with that negativity. It would be nipped in the bud straight.
It's absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense, the Mane and Salah thing. This is a good question in the 1892 Days podcast. Connor, I'll come to you first. Should Salah be paid more than Van Dijk?
They should both be paid the same because they're both absolutely brilliant for this football club.
Our two biggest players.
Yeah, like, of course, I think Virgil's the rumour today with, I believe, was it... Fabrizio Romano saying that Van Dijk is going to be signing a new contract. Look, give them whatever they want. You know, look, these players, they've won us a Champions League, they've won us a World Championship, they've won us a Premier League title. You know, Van Dijk, yes, he's had the injury this year, but he's an absolute stallion, isn't he? You know, look, he'll have one bad injury, 3-4 years, he's fantastic. So, world's best defender when fit, and look, give Mo and Virgil whatever they want because they deserve it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Ballum, I will say this now: Harry Wilson will be one of the first out of the door.
I tell you, sell him to Bournemouth for it was on loan. Was he on loan last season? Sell him for Bournemouth for 50 mil. Yeah, give him 50 mil Bournemouth happy days. Get into the Premier League and we'll have some of that money.
Well, could we see him being in the conversation with Leeds for the Rafinha deal? Could that be a thing?
Ooh. Possibly.
I think Leeds would want more. Leeds want more than Harry Wilson for Rafinha, because Rafinha is one of their best players. That's their golden boy. If they give up their golden boy, they're going to want something in return. And I'm sorry, but Harry Wilson just doesn't cut the mustard. That's like replacing that.
Yeah.
That's talking cheese, really, isn't it? I was trying to think of a good football, and I was trying to replace Virgil with someone, and it was just not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ballum, but Harry Wilson will be definitely one out the door, for sure. Just very quickly, Harvey Elliott. Do we think he'll be as part of the first team next season? Sophie, what do you think?
Oh, I love Harvey Elliott. Like, he's just, I don't know, he's like the child in the team. Like, I just adore him. But when we signed him from Fulham at 16, like, he was the wonder kid, wasn't he? And then we saw him play, and you realise, bloody hell, he's got a lot about him for 16. And you've just seen how much he's developed as a player being on loan this season. Like, he's absolutely clinical. He's very, very strong on the ball. He's agile. He's nippy. He cuts through people like a hot blade through butter. Like, that kid's got something special about him. And like, there was a picture he put up the other day when he was getting tattooed, and it's a Liverpool tattoo. Like, that club runs through that boy's bone. Like, his blood is just everything about him breathes Liverpool. And I think we'd be a very, very stupid club to let him go, because he's going to be something wonderful. I don't see it
absolutely agree.
I think because he's 17 now, he'll be 18 next season. I can't see him starting next season. I think maybe recall him, give him another season on loan, then bring him back for the 22-23 season and really integrate him into the team the way Curtis Jones was meant to be integrated this year. But obviously his integration next season. I think if we're going to focus on Curtis Jones, his development next season, then obviously the season after would be when I bring Harvey Elliott back. Yeah,
definitely. To be fair, he's done very, very well at Blackburn this season. I loved the wee touch he did when I think Blackburn were at Hillsborough recently. Yeah. He got a wreath and he put it in front of the Leppings Lane stand at Hillsborough, which was absolutely fantastic. Balm's asked a very good question again. Now, I don't know if anyone has seen this, but apparently Turkey is on the list of red alerts for travel. Now, this puts the Champions League final in Istanbul very much in doubt. But all I'll say is, what a shame, because at least we managed to experience it in 2005. But joking aside, can we see it being in England, Connor?
1000%. I think it's the thing that makes the most sense. You know, to put it at Wembley, put it wherever you want in the UK. You know, it's between two English teams. Do it. You know, look, traveling around in the pandemic's bad enough anyway. If there's a reasonable, you know, diversion that they could do, which of course I think Villa Park has been the main talking point.
Yeah, that's been mentioned. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
So, you know, Man City, if Man City or Chelsea were to win it, they can sing about the one night in Birmingham if they want to, which would be kind of nice. But look, it makes perfect sense. Have it in the UK, have it wherever you want. Just don't be idiotic and go, you know, what UEFA are, and, you know, oh yeah, we'll still have it in Turkey, even though there's completely no reason for it. So yeah, have it in the UK.
Dan, I'll ask you this, not asking you to name a specific player, but could each panel member say what specific position they think needs to be addressed in the window to help Liverpool the most for next season?
Okay, I'm just thinking, obviously, I think we've addressed the centre-back position, haven't we? Because we're obviously going to sign Canate and Kabak. I think that they'll make that deal permanent. So I would say we lack depth up front, don't we? So I think we need a forward.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a traditional number 9. There's not many of them out there, but at least another forward who can rotate with the 3 and Jota that we've got at the moment. Definitely. I mean, we wait and see whether Sadio Mane is going to hit peak form again next season. I'm hopeful, but I think Bobby Firmino, his decline has been steady over the last few years now, so I don't expect him to sort of suddenly shoot up again. So with that in mind, I think definitely we need another forward.
Yeah.
Jack?
Yeah, I'd agree with Dan in the panel. Priority for Liverpool, as well as getting centre-backs in, has got to be up front, because we can't. We've seen the form. I'd go for Tony. I know he's a championship player, but I think he's got a lot of goals, 30 goals in the championship. The transition of Ollie Watkins into the Premier League, it was a smooth transition, and he's took to the Premier League very well. Tony looks like he's got one of the first championship players to get over 30 goals, and he's got over 10 assists as well. So he's very creative as a player. When I've watched him, the odd game or odd highlight on YouTube, he's a predator within the box, and that's something that Liverpool lack. Apart from if we don't play Jota, we've seen him coming in this season. Prior to him getting injured, he was always just in the right spot at the right time. And for me, it's an outside shot, but I'd love us to go for Tony.
Tony, it's a very, very interesting, very interesting. Would anyone want right back cover? Because I was speaking to Dan Hargreaves yesterday of the Saints View, and he was saying to me that Southampton are very interested in Nico Williams for next season.
I would say no, because Joe Gomez can play right back.
No.
But then It's I don't want Joe Gomez as a right back. I want him as centre back.
This is the issue. Covering players' positions with players out of position. We've seen it this season. Milner's played left back. Milner's played centre back. Hendo's played centre back. Fabinho's played centre back. We've had everyone and the best friend in that back line. I completely agree with that. Yes, our front three, we've got links with defensive players. Deals are being sorted with that. We've got links with midfielder players. Deals are being dealt with that. We haven't had any links really for up-front, out-and-out strikers. And like Dan rightly said, that's what we need. Like a really creative, attacking, out-and-out striker who will absolutely destroy anybody in the box. But Joe Gomez cannot play right back. We've seen it before.
Yeah, he can.
Well, he
right back, and then
he definitely can't. Sorry, Soph. I was just going to say, he definitely can't play right back in this current Liverpool team. The way we set up with the fullbacks are so important. Bombing on, you can't have a centre back there. But sorry, just to break the forward there.
You're completely fine. But no, that's like Joe Gomez was traditionally a right back. And he was moved and integrated into a centre-back position because he didn't have the pace, he didn't have the agility, he wasn't good enough for a full-back player, especially the way Liverpool play it, where we run our wing-backs up the channel and we create that narrow gap for our wingers to move into. He can't do that. Yes, defensively, he's very, very sound, but he can't get up that pitch the way we need him to. His crossing, we can't get up the pitch the way we need to. His long balls are great. His crossing accuracy is not that good.
Yeah,
he can't fill that void that Trent does. And I know we'd be very, very hard pressed to find a player who could do Trent's role the way we want Trent's role done. Like that, it's like trying to replace Robbo. It's very, very difficult to do. Yeah. But I genuinely feel like to even have that as a thought process that Gomez is even a viable option for right back is laughable at this point. We're just getting 4 solid centre-backs in and you want to use one of our centre-backs as right-back cover? Well, fuck it. Put Fabinho back in centre-back again while you're at it.
It's not that. It's the fact that, he would be third choice. It's not the fact that I want him to be there. It's the fact that it is there. And that's how Klopp has, worked every single Liverpool player. You could probably name every single Liverpool player and they've at least played in 2 positions for Liverpool. At least. We shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. We should sign an out-and-out backup right back. We should. There was, I think I said to you, Doug, a couple of years ago, Dani Alves, someone like that, someone that's experienced right back. Yeah. When he was a free agent, last year or the year before, someone that can, guide Trent more defensively. That is what we need. We need someone that is that defensive-minded right back to, of course, go up and down the pitch like what Trent does, but to also, help Trent defensively. I think we can all say, Trent's done fantastic work defensively this season. He's been, he's upped his defensive game. Yes, the attacking side's been a bit down, but that's what he does need a bit more, work on.
Yeah, if we were backed by a state, we could go on by £50 million right backs every season, couldn't we? But sadly, we can't.
It's the thing as well. It's like it's that exactly. And going on to who we need specifically, Daka. I think he's the perfect guy for Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree.
From Salzburg, I think he is the perfect guy for Liverpool. Out and out number 9. I think he has the most goal contributions in Europe this season, which if we remember, a year ago or year and a half ago, we were laughing at Bruno Fernandes doing it in the Portuguese league, and now look what he's doing over in Manchester. Sadly, Bruno Fernandes, if you want to call him that in Portugal. But look, it's where I think Liverpool, look, like the others have said earlier, Liverpool have a list of about 10 people for each position and names we wouldn't even heard of, and that is how Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp have worked over the last 5 years, and that's why Liverpool do their best business. They find gems and they make them superstars, and that's where we are at our best.
See, I just think for Liverpool to go forward from here, like we've won all there is to win in club football, but we want to keep doing it. We don't want to fall back and have another 30 years where we don't win anything again. Like I definitely don't want to see that. I don't want to see the club that I've watched develop the past 3 years falter again. And I feel like we've got into this mentality of well, our players are versatile and our players can swap into different positions. And that's great that you've got that cover there, because if it wasn't for Fabinho being able to play centre-back, we'd have been out of the game a long, long time ago.
Oh, definitely.
For me, we've got to get out of that mentality now of, oh, well, so-and-so can cover and so-and-so can cover. It needs to be a case of, no, that person excels in a number 6. That person excels in a full-back position. We can't keep chopping and changing anymore. We need to get cover. And until we can get appropriate cover for Trent, in my opinion, Neco shouldn't go anywhere.
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Right. So, what's today, people? It is the 7th of May, and 2 years ago, this very evening, the miracle of Anfield. The miracle of Anfield happened. Liverpool 4, Barcelona 0. Remember the tweets that Barcelona pages were saying, we get 1, Liverpool need 5. Is that all right? Yeah, you didn't get 1 though, did you? So I will say this now. I missed this game. So I'm relying on everyone else to let me know about this game because I was actually at work when it was on. So my first question to you, Dan, where were you and were you at the game?
I'm going to tell you a little story here, Doug. I was in work as well.
Oh, no!
No, but I'll tell you, I work at a well-known car factory on Merseyside, let's just say that, and I was working on a production line, and the game must have finished at about 10 to 10, and I was in work till 10:30, and God help anyone who got one of them cars from 10 to 10 till 10:30, because I couldn't put a screw in straight. My hands were shaking. Honestly, every screw I was putting in, I was cross-threading. I couldn't do anything. I just couldn't wait. My heart was racing. I just couldn't wait to finish work. And I could have ran home. It was about 13 miles home. I could have ran home and ran back. I was that excited. It was unbelievable. But the best thing about it was, like, a high percentage of my mates, or my workmates, let's say, were Evertonians. And the week before when we'd lost the week before when we'd lost the first leg, they were all sniggering and they were all like, you could see them sending each other little WhatsApps and all that, it must have been like laughing at Liverpool. And then the next week, obviously, it went 1-0, then 2-0, and then 3-0. And then I just seen one of the Everton lads, he turned to one of the other lads and just went, 4-0. And he was devastated. Honestly, I didn't want to celebrate like when the goals were going in, because I thought obviously it was still on a knife edge, a goal for Barca, it would have been back all over. But yeah, I was just, my heart was, I couldn't function properly in work, and I was gutted to miss it. But what a brilliant night, probably the best night in Liverpool's history. Unbelievable. Yeah. So that's my little story. So not a great start really when you want people's opinions on watching the match, because you never watched it and I never. But yeah, that's my little story anyway of the night.
Well, I to be honest, I did actually have my phone in my pocket. Like I was just checking it every time, and when that fourth goal went in, I screamed, and like I honestly could not believe that we managed to get that 4-0. But what a night, what a game that was as well. Jack, were you at the game?
Yeah, I was in the pub, couple of bevies down with. Oh, what a night! It was when Messi kept on getting the ball, and you're like, shit. Like every single time he just got on the ball, because you know how special he can be. It takes 2 seconds for him to score a goal, but the defense that night, Matip turned into Prime Maldini that night, and him and Van Dijk at the back, and Alisson yet again. The importance, it's so important that you have a world-class goalkeeper, and having those three in the back line defended against Barca so well. And you can just recall in that first, like Dembele, that chance at the end, and obviously the arrogance of Barcelona. That was the year after they played Roma, wasn't it? Where it hit them like a ton of bricks. Psychologically, they all them, and it's lovely to watch after. And it was so important that we won that final, because imagine losing to Spurs in that final. There's no other team that you could bear losing against Spurs. But it was a magic, mate. And Shaqiri, I know a lot of people got a lot of different things to say about Shaqiri, but he just showed his quality that night yet again, and he really offers that as long as he's not injured. Might that be said? But all the players stepped up. Divock Origi.
Do you know?
Just wish we sold him after that. Sold him 50.
Do you know the funny thing you were mentioning about the Roma Barcelona game? I remember Peter Drury's commentary when they got the third goal, and it was something like Roma's rising from its ruins. I thought that was absolute genius by a very, very good commentator, and unfortunately, you don't get that with Martin Boring Tyler. Sophie, were you at the game?
No, wasn't at the game. But actually, a bit of a funny story, really. My husband is an Arsenal fan. And at the time, we were saving for our house. So we were living with mum and dad. And we were watching the match. We watched the first leg. And I was like screaming at the TV, like, turn it off, I'm watching it, turn it off. And he was like, no, watch it all. And then I wasn't going to watch the second leg because I was like, no, we're done for. Like, why do I want to watch my team be destroyed? Like, why do I want to watch my heart fall out my chest? Like, I don't want to do it. And my husband was like, Sophie, just watch it. Just watch the game. You'll regret it if you don't. And he made me put my Liverpool shirt on. He put a Liverpool shirt on for me as well. And the pair of us were sat there watching it. And the first goal went in. And I cried. And then the second goal went in. And I cried even more. And then I remember looking at him and just going, and he was like, he just nodded and was like, yep. Like that, there was no word said. It was just, we knew it was on. And then obviously with the 2 goals in, when corner taken quickly went in, when that corner was being taken, like my mum and dad have got an extension with like big patio doors. I actually went and stood in the garden because I was frightened of seeing the corner. So I was like, I'm stood in the garden watching it through the window, and like I don't know how I didn't, like, my neighbours didn't, my mum and dad's neighbours didn't complain like massively, because all I did was scream every time Messi got the ball. I screamed every time our players got the ball, when we ran forward, and then when the added time got added on, I've never felt so sick.
That's the longest time going.
That felt like another game. That was longer than the whole game entirely. Like, how many minutes was it in the end? It was like 8 minutes or something.
Yeah, everything was around that, like 4 or 5. Yeah, it was crazy.
8 minutes. It was supposed to be like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and it kept going on. I was like, blow the whistle! Like, but I have never celebrated so much. Like, I think I celebrated that comeback versus Barca because I knew when we beat Barca, we were going to win it. So for me, we'd already won it at that point. My celebration for the Barcelona was better than my celebration against the final with Spurs. On that night, like Barcelona.
Yeah, and they're apparently a Super League side. Who knew? Connor,
next season.
Connor, where were you on that night?
How do I beat that story from Sophie? I don't really. I was in my house. I think from that first leg, I think that was the most depressed I've been for about a couple of days. I was like, how have we lost this game 3-0? Like, how? Like,
beat the post and crossbars, didn't we?
Yeah, that was it. And like, it was like, I've watched, like, this season, I've watched so many games, and it was just, that just did not deserve to be 3-0. And then we had the game against Newcastle, like, and I think people forget we still had a title race going on during this. Yeah. And it was that game against Newcastle where obviously I think we won 3-2, and it was like, I just can't see us doing it. I want Liverpool to win. Of course, I want Liverpool to win, but surely they're just going to score. I was literally Sergio Busquets. I was like, surely they're going to score 1 goal, right? And then obviously the game comes around, and you're like, okay, right, we will have a chance. It's Liverpool. It's Liverpool Anfield. It's European night. There might be some hope. The first goal goes in. It's like, okay, one goal and that. And then, of course, Robbo gets injured, and we have to take him off for Gini. Yeah. And then everything... Well, we talked about Gini earlier, didn't we? And how much he's done for the football club. Remember the Barcelona game? Like, where he was...
He was pissed off, wasn't he? He was fuming on that bench, and he come on so angry. And I think that's what Jurgen Klopp got from me, wasn't it, Connor? Like, he knew he'd get that reaction.
It was so angry. After he scored his first goal, and he went right into the goal, yanked the ball, and went, come on! He was like, stop celebrating. It's not over yet. And, that was iconic, Gini. That word, I can just see him wrestling for the ball and then just doing this. That's all he did.
Yeah.
Didn't it get VAR'd or something? I shit myself after. I was like, what did he do? The VAR and like the challenge on him and to Stegen. I was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. We're lucky now where VAR wasn't really like as bad as it was then as it is now. But when that third goal went in, I think I lost my voice for about 10 minutes. And like by then we're not even through, by the way. And I was like, my nan was downstairs and she was like, she looked at me and went, "Are you all right?" And I went, just don't talk to me for 10 minutes. Just don't.
So much he got spilled on that night. It went everywhere in the pub. It literally went everywhere.
When that fourth goal went in, I think I did so many laps around my living room. It was mental. But it was just then the waiting game. Like Sophie said, it was like the nail biting wait. Blow the fucking whistle, ref. Like and just constantly waiting. And then when it went off, you just wish you were at Anfield because just the noise from the TV screen was, unreal. And, just the whole feeling of it, I don't think, if we somehow had a more magical European night than that, then it will take something because that was just fantastic. I just wish that everyone was in Liverpool that night. I just wish everyone was in Liverpool.
If you could just bottle that moment in time, wish you could, and sell it. I tell you, it'd be the most magical drug in the world anyway. And that's why we love football, isn't it? We grew up as kids.
Yeah.
Nothing can...
What I will say about that game, though, Fabinho, on a yellow card, was absolutely immense.
Yeah.
He was just everywhere that night. And like we've obviously seen the clip on Twitter. That was never a yellow. Like Suarez does a lot of like rolls and like tries to get Fabinho, but that was never a booking. It was a well-timed tackle. So that the fact that Fabinho got booked and managed to last 90 minutes, he was just everywhere.
It was a dark art that Liverpool learned from that year before, wasn't it, mate? Obviously, Barca tried to go down every single time, but obviously playing Ramos the season before, we needed that. Robbo was pissing them all off. He was chatting them on the back of the head. He was whining the whole Barca squad up, wasn't he?
Yeah. When he hits with the back of the head as he's walking past, you go slap. I love it. I just want to go, speaking of Champions League, lads, were you there for the parade?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
No, funnily enough, I actually missed it. I was offered to go down. Yeah, I was in work.
Jokes, so man, you meant to be sorting these dates off, lad. I'll be having words.
I was so hungover. I picked my wedding dress up the day of the final. I'd found my wedding dress and then obviously came home and watched the final. Absolutely got rat-arse drunk, and my mum and dad, we had all the family and friends around, we got rat-arse drunk. Next day, hear the dog walking through Gattaca Village to go to Five Ways, and we got halfway to the Five Ways, we got to Gattaca Village, and we all just went, should we have a drink? Should we just walk into the bed? So we went into the bed and staff in Gattaca Village, and there's fucking Steven Gerrard.
No.
In the pub. And I was hungover with my phone going, down the phone. So I went over and I was like, I'm really sorry. I was like, but can I have a hug? Can I take a picture? So, and then obviously to go to the Five Ways and just watch the lads. I've never been so hungover but drunk at the same time. I was seeing 6 Virgils on top of that bus, about 45.
To be fair, I did see the final against Spurs, and the funny thing was I was with a couple of friends of mine, and I was on Kopparberg all night, and then once we won the final, we actually brought the champagne out. So I'm just standing there with 2 glasses of champagne. Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, memories of that Barcelona game, and obviously the Spurs game. And I think that's a good way to end it. But which has been a fantastic night. Dave was on the champers as well. Nice to see my friend. Nice to see. He is back. Yeah, he said he had to get a Peroni or something. So, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you very much to everyone who's obviously watched. Thank you to debutant Dan for coming on as well. Can I just tell the viewers about your channel, because you did do a nice wee quiz the other night, which I tried.
Well, I'm basically about a month in, 4 weeks in, so I'm just experimenting at the minute with different things. Sometimes I get my guitar out and play some Liverpool songs. I tried a little quiz this week. I'm just sort of seeing, working out what people are interested in, what might get a few views, whatever. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, by all means, give us a little follow on YouTube.
Absolutely. Jack Mack, it's just Jack Mack LFC, isn't it?
Yeah, just Jack Mack LFC, mate. I've been doing a lot of my gaming at the minute, but yeah, thank you very much. Lovely meeting Dan and Sophie and speaking to all yous at home, Connor as well. But thank you for letting me come on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully everyone keeps safe and well. Cheers, mate.
There has been a goal at the King Power. Newcastle United have scored. So it's Leicester 0, Newcastle 1.
Ian Acho will score a second half hat-trick.
Yeah, I was going to say,
let me
Oh dear. Sophie, I will see you in an hour and a half on Yanks of the Cop. Really looking forward to that.
You'll come into my world.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Need to make sure I'm in a very lit room, because by 10 o'clock this is going to be in darkness. Anyway, but yeah. But I'm on Yanks of the Cop this evening, so I'm really looking forward to that. Connor, thank you very much for coming on again, my friend. Cop Council, you're very close to 500 now, aren't you?
Somewhere around there. Be very nice together eventually. But yeah, absolute pleasure. Pleasure meeting Sophie and Dan for the first time. And yeah, Jack, as always, nice to see you. But look, it was absolutely a brilliant show, and yeah, thank you for inviting me on, Doug, as always.
Absolute pleasure, guys. If you have missed this live stream where we've talked Gini Wijnaldum, we've talked Ozan Kabak, we've talked Salah to Chelsea, which is never ever happening in a million years. Don't care what Chelsea fans say, never happening.
Tweet at Christian in a minute. It's like, what do you want?
Yeah,
that's my firstborn child. That will not happen. That's how confident I am.
Yeah, I am as well. But yeah, guys, if you have missed it, then just leave us a comment in the live in the comments, and we'll definitely get back to you as well. But fingers crossed, the Reds can go and win against Southampton tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who's watched, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, and bye bye for now.
You'll never walk
alone. Cheers. Bye.